The 17 News at Sunrise podcast is brought to you by Clinica Sierra Vista.
Welcome back to the 17 News at Sunrise podcast, where we share your news on your schedule.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
And good morning. It is 5 a.m. on this Tuesday morning. I'm Alex Fisher. I am not Ileana.
I'm Ileana Caprion. Yeah, but that's all right.
It's just, got to wait for the coffee to kick in. Maddie has the day off, and we've been enjoying some beautiful weather over the last couple of days.
It's been nice. We even had a cool down over the weekend.
Yes, we did. Then, of course, the big question is, how long are we going to be treated to this nice weather? Kevin Sherrati is back this morning, having a look at our forecast. Good morning, Kev.
Good morning. Yeah, I was in Anaheim yesterday, visiting the just the happiest place on earth. Alex knows what that is. Yeah, spending some time at Disney yesterday. It was beautiful. Cloud cover all day long down that direction. I know we had more sunshine here in 80s, and that's going to continue for today. Let's take you outside and show you the current conditions right now. Bakersfield sitting at 61 degrees, a light wind out of the north at 7 miles per hour. And as we take a look at the hour by hour here, upper 60s at 9 a.m., and then we'll progress into those 80s throughout the afternoon by 3 o'clock, right near 84. Out of the Tehachapi area, right now sitting at 54, a west-northwest wind at 12. We are expecting a little bit of breeze throughout the day, and you can see the strongest of the winds over the Grapevine and out near the desert at this time. There is a wind advisory due to expire at 6 a.m., and as we take a look at the hour by hour here, you are expecting the lower 70s, but that breeze continues as well. I'll have more in your forecast that's coming up in just a bit.
All right, Kev, thanks so much. 5:02 is your time now, and we begin this morning with the Kern County Fair and disappointing news for those who were hoping to enjoy the concerts, rides, and food this year. The board announced the fair will not go on in 2021 due to the pandemic. Board members said restrictions have not eased to the point where they could put on the event, which draws tens of thousands of people. CEO Mike Alcott also said it takes more than a year to plan the fair that people are used to seeing. Last month, the board announced the livestock show would go on, but festivities like concerts, rides, and of course that food will not happen. The board said a 4-day festival could possibly be held in the fall, depending on the state and county regulations at that time. The fair board said the plan is for the fair to come back in 2022. California's Mid-State Fair will go on as planned this summer. The fair is at the Paso Robles Event Center, which will happen July 21st through August 1st. Organizers say you can expect everything you'd want from a fair: animal, live performances, carnival rides, exhibits, and food. COVID-19 safety protocols, though, will be in place. And our neighbors to the north are also going to enjoy their fair this year. The Big Fresno Fair is happening October 6th through the 17th. In an announcement posted to social media, organizers say the fair will have modifications in place and final details are still being worked out.
And the Centers for Disease Control issued new guidelines on who needs to wear a mask and when. But the state of California says it won't lift mask restrictions until the state fully reopens in about a month. 17's Ashley Zavala has more.
Fully vaccinated Californians can ditch their masks in the majority of situations beginning June 15th. That's the same day California plans its full economic reopening. But for now, the statewide mandatory mask order stays in place.
So it's in no way saying that the science or the direction by the CDC is wrong or there's a challenge to it. It's really just giving ourselves across the state some additional time.
California's top health official Monday announced the state will wait to implement new CDC mask guidelines that allow fully vaccinated Americans to go without wearing a mask in most places and situations. Health and Human Services Secretary Dr. Mark Galley says the state will follow those guidelines once the state fully reopens its economy without restrictions on June 15th, which he says the state is on track to do.
This 4-week period will give Californians time to prepare for this change.
For the next month, the state order will continue to require everyone to wear a mask indoors and require the unvaccinated to wear them outdoors when social distancing is not possible. Galley says the 4-week wait will allow more Californians to get vaccinated and for case rates to hopefully fall. As of Monday, about 49% of the state's population is fully vaccinated, with a statewide positivity rate at less than 1%. The wait will also give the state time to figure out possible enforcement on the loosening of its mask rules. California is not and still does not plan to use a vaccine passport or verification system for now, but is eyeing other states using the technology.
We believe that this technology is going to evolve over the next many weeks and months. And just like we've been in conversation with the federal partners, continuing to watch and see how these technologies can be used to help support public health in our state. But right now, no change in the position.
Even though the state plans to align itself with the CDC mask guidance on June 15th, state leaders say local governments can still keep their mask mandates in place if necessary. Reporting in Sacramento, Ashley Zavella, 17 News.
Now to our daily update on COVID-19 in Kern County. Public Health reported 22 new cases yesterday and no new deaths. The state reports 28 people are being treated for more acute symptoms of COVID-19 in local hospitals, with 6 patients in area intensive care units. And since last March, Kern has lost 1,376 lives due to COVID-19. A memorial honoring those we've lost will be unveiled today. American Fabrication owner Kevin Russell launched the project inspired by the loss of his friend Victor Ramos Jr., who died from COVID-19 back in October. The names of more than 100 community members will be engraved on the memorial. We'll have more coverage on that unveiling today at 17 News at noon.
COVID-19 vaccinations continue to be the most effective weapon in reducing cases, according to officials, and in that, keeping pandemic-related restrictions limited. Bakersfield College nursing students will hold a COVID-19 vaccination clinic on June 10th. The clinic will be held from 5 to 8 p.m. at the Hindu Temple of Kern County, located on Valley View Drive. The students will hold another clinic on July 8th at the same time and place. Doses of the Moderna vaccine will be distributed at both events. You can register now at myturn.ca.gov. And Lake Isabella residents have a chance to get vaccinated today. Kern County Public Health is holding a vaccine clinic at Kern Valley High from 10 a.m. till 3 p.m. They will be giving out the Pfizer vaccine to anyone 12 and older. The clinic returns to Kern Valley on June 7th. And you can find your nearest vaccine clinic and sign up for any appointment by going to the state's website, myturn.ca.gov. You can also call 833-422-4255.
And state and national health leaders want to remind you that these COVID-19 vaccines are free. You should not be asked to pay for a vaccine or be denied a vaccine due to non-payment. The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services offers an Office of Inspector General and the California Department of Justice are warning COVID-19 vaccine providers that they are not allowed to ask vaccine recipients for payment. If they do, they could be put on the provider, expelled from the CDC COVID-19 vaccination program, and could face potential criminal and civil penalties. If you see a vaccine clinic charging for your shot, you're urged to report it to the state. We have steps on how to do that on our website, kget.com. And the Houchin Community Blood Bank is putting out the call for blood donations as supplies remain severely limited due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Houchin says the community answered the call when they were in dire need of COVID-19 convalescent plasma, but now there is a serious blood shortage. As pandemic-related restrictions are easing, the blood bank says more people are going back to work and their regular routines, and donations are dropping. And Houchin is sending out more blood than it's collecting. To schedule an appointment, just head to hcbb.com. And Houchin Community Blood Bank will be back in Tehachapi next week. The Tehachapi-wide blood drive will be held Tuesday, May 25th, 11 to 4 p.m. at Tehachapi Valley Recreation and Parks District's West Park. The address is 490 West D Street. If you would like to reserve a time to donate, go to hcbb.com.
Well, hey, for the first time in Dodger Blue, the former Los Angeles Angels All-Star Albert Pujols helped the Dodgers score a run last night. The former Cardinals and Angels slugger agreed to sign with the reigning World Series champion Dodgers for the remainder of the 2021 regular season. He made his debut last night in blue as number 55. He wore number 5 with the Angels. Pujols was designated for assignment by the Angels on May 6th and officially released by the team and free to sign anywhere on Thursday. He was in the final year of his original 10-year, $240 million contract with the Angels before asking to be released from his contract. The Dodgers will pay him a prorated share of the $570,000 league minimum. Yeah, this was really exciting. So this happened over the weekend during an MLB game in Boston. Angels hitter Luis Rojas loses his grip and his bat goes sailing over the netting and into the stands. But what you just saw right here, hopefully you'll be able to see it right here. There he loses his bat. The guy that caught the bat was on his phone. He was able to snag the bat cleanly and then never takes the phone off his ear and nonchalantly hands it off to another member of his party and continues on with his conversation.
Clinica Sierra Vista is now offering rapid COVID-19 testing and COVID-19 vaccinations. Call 833-278-4584 to make your appointment. But don't delay. Clinica Sierra Vista, putting patients first.
Welcome back. Your time now is 5:21. Electric vehicles. That's the focus today as President Biden visits a Ford plant in Michigan to promote his infrastructure plan. Tracy Potts has a look at the latest negotiations on what the plan should include and how to pay for it.
Alex, Republicans say that raising taxes, that's their red line. They won't do it. While the president today focuses on one key part of his jobs plan. From gas guzzlers to cars that plug in, President Biden tours a Michigan Ford plant today to push the biggest transportation item in his jobs plan, a $174 billion investment in electric vehicles, as Ford introduces an electric version of its best-selling truck.
The success of an electric pickup could hasten our nation's transition to a cleaner, brighter, and stronger transportation future.
It's part of President Biden's $2.3 trillion infrastructure plan. That's 4 times what Republicans want to spend.
I'm ready to compromise. What I'm not ready to do, I'm not ready to do nothing.
The Republican counteroffer due today will focus on roads and bridges without raising corporate taxes.
We're not going to do $2 trillion, but I think we could find an $800 to $900 billion infrastructure package that's tailored toward infrastructure.
The White House hopes to strike a deal by Memorial Day.
When I ran, I said
Republicans argue raising taxes during inflation is a bad idea, and they're concerned about borrowing money to pay for this, plunging the country further into debt. I'm Tracy Potts, 17 News.
The Portales Fire Department in New Mexico performed a daring water rescue over the weekend after a car was carried away by floodwaters. Take a look at this. The fire department received a call from multiple people trapped in a car by the fast-moving water. According to officials, the car was carried about half a mile in the floodwaters, and a mother and her 2 children were inside, trapped. The mother and kids were safely rescued.
KGET Business Watch is brought to you by Grapevine MSP Technology Services, the Valley's leading IT service provider.
And in your 17 Business Watch, lumber prices have been more than doubled over the past year. Experts say that nationwide lockdown forced sawmills manufacturers and home builders to temporarily shut down. That caused a shortage of cut and finished lumber across the country. Also, a factor increased demand for new home construction and home remodeling during the pandemic. According to the National Association of Home Builders, the average cost of a new home has gone up to $36,000 in recent months.
AAA says drivers impacted by the Colonial Pipeline shutdown should see prices at the pump return to normal in the coming days. Last week, gas prices spiked nearly 21 cents per gallon in parts of the Southeast. Now that pipeline is up and running, gas stations are slowly getting refueled. AAA says fuel prices tend to spike very easily, and last week's case was due to panic buying.
Remember, there were some markets where 70 to 80% of the gas stations had run out of gas, and that was just due to panic buying. So it's going to take a while for these stations to then have a tanker pull up and refuel the station.
AAA says there's plenty of gas, and drivers can expect the cost of the pump to continue leveling off in the coming days. Well, when you think of France and snails, you probably think of a popular French cuisine that many Americans just don't understand. So you'll probably shake your head at another French use of snails for soap. Snail slime has become a common ingredient, especially in Korean beauty products, and is noted for its anti-aging properties. The slime contains collagen and elastin, which have anti-aging and skin-healing properties. Damien Disrocher extracts the slime from one of the thousands of snails he grows, and he uses the slime to make artisanal soap that is not cheap. He needs the slime of 40 snails to make 15 bars of soap. His goal is to make 3,000 bars of soap this year. So,
That's interesting.
Would you
buy that? I don't think so.
Just perfectly.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
The 17 News at Sunrise podcast is a production of KGET and Nexstar Media Group. For more on all of the headlines in today's show, head to kget.com.